Are you ready, ready?
Welcome to episode 3 of the Boom Room. I hope you guys have been enjoying it as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you. I had a lot of things planned, but sometimes the best plans just get scratched. As we're going on air, I get breaking news of a big trade in the Whoopin Fantasy Football League between, you guessed it, Whoopin That Ass and Kajinos. Whoopin That Ass trading his first 2 picks, Le'Veon Bell and Adam Thielen, to Kajinos in exchange for Kyler Murray, Larry Fitzgerald, Amari Cooper, and Carlos Hyde.
I think Corey plays a part in almost every championship in this league. Yeah. Like, his trades have led to him getting the championship, absolutely. But he's played a part, I feel like, in almost every championship, like with his trades. Like they might knock him completely out of the playoffs and set somebody else skyrocketing. Like I think Corey's a kingmaker in this league.
To say that it rocked the league a little bit is an understatement. We knew a trade was going to happen, and I think a couple owners were a little upset by it. I got some texts. I'm going to read the text. I'm not going to say who it was from, but this was some of the things that I was hearing around the league. One owner texted me and said, "What the fuck?" Question marks after that. So I guess you know where he stands on this. I had another owner text me saying, "If I did this shit, y'all be trying to kick me out the league." I talked to him. I tried to explain to him what was going on. And another owner that said, "Why is he so fucking impatient?" Quote unquote. That's just who he is. I will try to say this and explaining what Whoopin That Ass does from my perspective. He doesn't look at players and fall in love with them as his first round pick, second round pick. They're just numbers to him. So it's easy for him to make a trade where there's no attachment. It's like, yo, it's my second round pick. I gotta see it out. I gotta give it 4 or 5 weeks. If he sees higher numbers, he goes for it. And I think the Roethlisberger injury kind of forced his hand. Going into the doubleheader, it was probably now or never. If he waited to have the doubleheader, he probably wouldn't have been able to get what he would have thought is equal value. But we'll leave it at that for now, and we'll delve into it a little bit later. Now, let's get into it. What makes this league so great is our doubleheader week 3. It's exciting, something to look forward to. It can propel you to a great season, or it can have you digging out a hole all year. And if it comes early enough where you have an opportunity to dig out that hole, that's also what makes it exciting. Now, having said that, let's review what happened in week 2. Starting out with the higher power versus the jabronis. The two most accomplished teams in our Beat It Fantasy Football League. The higher power with a convincing win. Very impressive. And I think the higher power will be the first to tell you he's 2-0 and hasn't played nearly close to his A game. I think going forward, that might spell trouble for a lot of teams because once he gets it going, it could be trouble. Let's move on to Whoopin That Ass versus Negro. I know Negro, finally, the fantasy football, the injury guys have given me a break. Ben Roethlisberger getting hurt in the first quarter, Doom Whoopin That Ass. And that probably also played a part in him making a trade once again. Whenever you can score 120 and walk away with a victory, it's a good day. So congratulations, Negro. Take that win and keep it moving. Let's keep it going. We'll go on to G5 versus Machiavellians. G5 getting 79 points from his first 2 picks. You can't ask for more than that. When something like that happens, you're going to win more games than not. After 2 weeks, I think it's safe to say Machiavellians is looking the least impressive in this league. He has good talent. The O.J. Howard shit is killing him. He's basically playing 8 on 9 these first 2 weeks. I hope O.J. Howard gets it going because he has a lot of talent on that team. Let's move on to Bread Inc. versus the North Remembers. Once again, it's similar to what happened to Whoopin That Ass. Drew Brees gets hurt early in the game, and when that happens, you're going to lose. It's going to be interesting to see going forward how this affects Alvin Kamara. For 6 weeks, are we expecting Alvin Kamara to be a top 3 running back? I'm really got my eye on that to see how that plays out. The North, remember, he did what he's supposed to do. See a team injured, hurt, go get the victory, move on to next week. Now let's move on to El Kajinos versus Arizona Ryan. El Kajinos with a solid bounce back victory. He took a lot of heat last week, and like a true competitor. He came back this week with a solid performance. He's at 8 touchdowns from his team, and when that happens, more times than not, you're going to get a victory. Arizona, Ron, I'm gonna take a second to say I'm a little concerned about what's going on over there. I watched a lot of the Rams game. Ty Gurley, he now looks like an average back. There's no burst at all. Devontae Freeman looks like he's lost a step. Now, granted, he's played against 2 good run defenses, so we'll see going forward. And then the cherry on top, Drew Brees getting hurt. We're gonna see how that affects Michael Thomas going forward. So I think the doubleheader is probably the most important in Arizona Ryan right now. 0-2, still at this doubleheader with a lot of question marks. Hey, I hope you get this figured out over there. Good luck going forward. And now let's get to it. The game of the week, featuring myself, TNT, against Lincoln Legends. Give Lincoln Legends a lot of credit. They came out from the start on a Thursday night with Goodwin, putting up 27 points. He basically took McCaffrey and destroyed him. McCaffrey with 7 points, laid an egg. I didn't think it was possible for McCaffrey to only score 7 points. He had a solid production up and down the lineup. I like to point out the Los Angeles Chargers only scored 10 points, but yet he gets 49 points from Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen. When you get production like that, when you get such little production from the team itself, hey, I tip my cap to him. Great performance, nothing to say. He said he was going to get it done, and he did it. Congratulations. We'll see him in a few weeks. Now, having said that, let's move on to the guest of the week. Without further ado, let's introduce this week's guest, a guy who I think has that it factor, who honestly could host this show if we needed him to. Let's introduce now the one, the only, El Kajinos.
Thank you. My pleasure. Pleasure to be here.
I'm glad to have you. I guess this is appropriate to have you here this week after the big Blockbuster trade in the Beat It Fantasy Football League. So let's get right to it. Not to get into the particulars because that's not fair to you or Whoopin That Ass.
Yes.
But who reached out to who? How did the trade become?
So yes, so I reached out to Corey, Whoopin That Ass. I saw a perfect opportunity with Ben being hurt for me to offer him a few pieces that may better his team as well as better mine. So I just took advantage of that. Reached out to him before the Monday night game actually, and we talked some things over. He shot out some offers. I shot out some offers, and we came to an agreement, and we made it happen.
Hey, listen, on the surface, I thought it was a great trade for you. I thought you really didn't give up too much. Mm-hmm. Made you solid. You just rearranged some points in your lineup. So I thought it was a good trade for you. Let me ask you this. I'm not going to ask you, do you think you have the best team? Because that's going to be hard to judge right now. Mm-hmm. But do you think you have the most talented team?
On paper, I would say yes. And that, I think everybody will answer that question the same way. Maybe. Well, I wouldn't even say the best team. I look at the teams in like tiers. So I would say me and 2 other teams. I don't know if you want me to name them or
Absolutely.
not.
Let's have it. Who's the 2 teams that you think are in a tier with you?
Honestly, I would say your team, TNT, definitely since draft. I thought that you drafted well.
I appreciate that.
A lot of few pieces in the show the first week. You definitely had a great week. As well as Brett Inc. I thought that he had a good draft and he had a lot of good pieces with Antonio Brown, AJ Green, and stuff like that. I know Green not playing, but it's still big names like on paper that could actually get him some production, as well as with Kamara and the other guys he got like Fournette and stuff like that. So I think that he may have a top team, and you can look at Legends too. Of course, he's been producing, but I don't believe that may sustain. But that's just my opinion. That's just based off his roster. Again, based off of names and on paper.
So to me, it sounds like you're saying he's a good team that you're not afraid of.
Pretty much. And it's kind of tough saying that since I play him this week, but I'm looking forward to the challenge.
That's what the boom room is. We don't hold back. We give them to them raw and uncut.
And then you were precise and accurate in what you just said. Then
okay, let me ask you this because we all go to the smack board and we see you and G5 throwing jabs back and forth. Let me ask you this: where did all that come from? Where did it start?
Honestly, I really don't know. I was just here one day and I was just making a draft pick, looking at my draft board, and I just felt so much admiration in the room, and from there it just took off. He just monitored every move that I make. it's kind of becoming a little obsessive and a little scary sometimes. I lock my door at night because I think Dre might try to come in and look at my fantasy lineup or try to take some of my notes. So, we appreciate it, but it definitely sometimes bothers us. We try to stay focused on the week, but yeah, we appreciate. He talks smack on the smack board. I talk smack back. Calls me clown and stuff like that. It's all good. You know, we understand. Even with the recent post about the trade. You may be the only owner that think that I lost out on it, but that's what happens when admiration turns into, I guess, obsession or whatever.
Okay, hey, listen. What I heard was that, G5 might have a little crush. Yeah, that's what I got out of it. But,
He's light skinned. So,
Well, let's go on, because when I introduced you, I said that you're one of the few guys I think that can do this. Yeah. So I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Perfect.
I got 6 franchises here. I'm gonna have you pick 3 out, and I just want you to give me your honest assessment of the franchise, raw, uncut.
Okay.
Let's have it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can pick whichever way you want, one at a time. Pick one and tell me about it.
Okay. First franchise. TNT.
Oh yeah.
Raw and uncut. Gosh, like I said, I like your team. I think you do have a good team. I believe that.
Come on, give it to me straight.
I don't know. I think it's easier for you to. I think it's hard for you to see the flaws in your team. Maybe.
Okay.
I think that may be the only thing I can say about this. And they may hurt you in the long run. Like I say, I like what you do on the waiver wire. And I thought that because the draft was so strong and how good you are on the waiver wire, I thought that was a plus for you, because previous years I kind of looked at your draft and questioned it. But now, with your draft being strong and you being good on the waiver wire and picking up picks like mid-season, I thought that you might have a good chance of actually like making the playoffs and doing something. So I really don't have nothing bad to say about your team this year yet, that I can think of. But I'm sure you'll give me some content for that.
Yeah, I still think I got a better team than you. All right, I'm gonna pick the second one out for you. I'm gonna hold it up. We're just gonna go.
Yep.
Lincoln Legends.
Lincoln Legends, team, overrated. That's the first. Damn, that came out kind of tough, but yeah, overrated. Austin Eckler. I can see why he's performing well, but I don't think that will hold up. So yeah, overrated. I would say. He's doing good now. He's a great owner, but yeah.
Let me ask you this: Does he win a championship in the next 3 years?
See, that's tough.
First thing coming to your head, yes or no?
No, but that's only because I'm in the league. If I'm speaking objectively, I would still say no, though.
Okay. Last one we're gonna go. I'm gonna switch them around for you. I'm gonna go this one. We're gonna go Bread Inc.
Bread Inc. So I think that he good talent, bad GM. I think about. I think that he always has good players on his team, but sometimes he might play the wrong player or like some of his moves, it leaves me questionable. I think that he's always like one move short of being like super, super good.
So it's kind of like if you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any.
Yeah, that type of thing. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Now, for people who don't know, you did a skit a few years back called "You Fucked Up."
Yes.
And we're gonna take this time to maybe show our viewers a little snippet of it.
Okay.
The commish, the co-commish, and their little toy Dame has a lot of shit to say about everyone's team.
They do.
A lot. Definitely do. I can't wait to get the TNT team. As far as the commish team, he fucked up at the running back position.
Every year he fuck up.
He drafted a whole bunch of wide receivers.
As usual.
This is my second year in the league. Before I came to the league and I sat down to talk with Dew, he said, look, young boy, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got the toughest division. Once I got into the league, I don't even want to talk. Rock Nation, they were horrible. That division was horrible last year. This year is horrible. I'm not going to be biased like the commissioner.
Usually biased?
Yeah.
They're usually biased. So
And then
I'm
the
gonna
co-commissioner
say,
and
I'm going to say
the
me and
Coco.
Kev. I'm going to say me and Kev have the best teams. We'll see each other in the Super Bowl because this is a non-biased show and we're being completely objective right now.
I enjoyed it. Are you going to bring that back? Is that something we can expect to see in the future, or are you going to, you know?
I do plan on bringing it back. It was a great segment that me and Julian used to do, and I think it's especially fitting now to I guess go back and revisit that, especially because Corey, you fucked up.
Oh, that's appropriate. Well, listen, as Lincoln Legend said, he's a king maker, so I know you're hoping that he made you a king this year. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell you that's not the case, but you know, good luck. I would say this: I would be disappointed if you're not a playoff team this year. The way your team looked, barring any more injuries, not an excuse right now because you have the depth. So, barring any injuries going forward, if you don't make the playoffs, I would be very disappointed. I want to thank you for coming out.
Yes, sir.
Good luck the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. You won't be disappointed.
I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. I had a blast, a ball talking to El Kajinos. As we know, like I said, this is the doubleheader week. I'm excited, looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's get on to the game of the week. Now, normally it would be 2 games since it's a doubleheader, but I'm going to give you 3 games, a trifecta for the game of the week, and it's all from the same round. We're going to go Lincoln Legends, G5, El Kajinos. We're going to break down the whole round robin of their games. We got 2 2-0 teams, a 1-1 team coming off the Blockbuster trade. I'm looking forward to this. I think one of these teams are going to feel like they're going to be in the catbird seat for best record after this doubleheader. Good luck, guys. Can't wait to break down your game. See you next week in the boom room.